Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedAlliance, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Amazonas deck profile. And now that Amazonas Queen has been updated and reprinted where she's not $20 a piece, we can really do a good deck profile on this. Now the previous deck profile is really good, but I was using a really interesting beat down version of this deck with Solidarity, and I wasn't playing any of the fusions because they weren't out either. But this build is actually pretty interesting being a fusion build. So before we get into it guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out down in the description below because I now have a Patreon account. So don't forget to become a patron. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, and by the way, I did not realize how pretty these look in yellow until I started taking this and I'm looking through it through the camera. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Whoops, too far. 3 copies of Amazonas Queen. Amazonas Queen makes it so all of your Amazonas monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, which is pretty damn good. It's really helpful because she's 2400 attack just for 1 tribute. You can bring her out. I know, 2017 and we're talking about tribute summoning. Where's Monarchs again? So she's pretty good and she makes it so they cannot be destroyed by battle. So pretty decent. Then we play 2 copies of Amazonas Paladin. Amazonas Paladin can get pretty big because her attack gets increased for every Amazonas you control by 100. So if you control like 1 in the link zone and then 5 on the field including her, she can go up to a maximum of 600 plus, so she goes up to 23 just summoning her out, and it's not that hard to get a bunch of Amazonas on the field, and there's a couple of attack boost cards in the deck that make her get even bigger. So she's kind of like the one like normal summon, and she's got a lot of attack points. Then I still play 3 copies of Amazonas Swordswoman because she's still single-handedly, in my opinion, the first turn like great card, and she can kind of help you feel out your opponent because you're not going to take any damage from her in battle. Your opponent's actually going to take the damage. So if they summon something big like a Feels or something like that, you can attack them with Swordswoman and they'll take the damage, which is really great. Then I play 1 copy of Amazonas Sage. Sage is kind of like an MST for the deck. When she enters the damage step, you can when she's attacking, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it, which is nice. I'm just playing 1 because she's searchable now with Amazonas Call. I was playing 2 before, but 1 seems to work very well. Then I play 3 copies of Amazonas Princess. You need to play 3 copies of Amazonas Princess. Her name is Amazonas Queen when on the field or in the grave, which is really good. And when she's normal or special summon, you can add an Amazonas spell or trap from your deck to the hand, which is really, really, really good. You can only activate that effect once per turn, so you can't get that off a bunch of times. And when she declares an attack, you can send 1 other card from your hand or your field to the graveyard, special summon any Amazonas monster from your deck in defense position, which is crazy. She is probably the best Amazonas card in the deck, and exactly what Amazonas need to be playable. And, well, not even playable, just really good. Then we play 3 copies of Amazonas Spy, another very, very helpful card in the deck. You can reveal another Amazonas monster in your hand, special summon her directly from your hand, to then, once per turn, when she is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target an Amazonas monster in your graveyard except a card herself and add it to your hand or shuffle it into the deck. So it lets you, she replaces herself, and if you can even link summon, the majority of the time I find myself link summoning with her. So that's why I play 3 copies of Spy. Then I play 1 copy of Tiger. Tiger is really good, but since you can only control 1 tiger, and Baby Pet Tiger counts as a tiger when it's on the field, it kinda sucks, and it kinda is awesome all at once, because it goes up by 400 attack for every Amazonas monster you control. And this is the only Amazonas card that can be targeted for an attack when you control it, which is pretty good. And it helps, and it gets pretty big, but you only need 1. Speaking of Baby Pet Tiger, this card is like cute as crazy cute. Oh my god. He's the whole reason that I wanted to build this deck. I'm not even kidding. This card was so cute that I just built this deck. I redid this deck. This card's name becomes Amazonas Tiger while in the field or in the graveyard, and if an Amazonas monster you control is normal or special summoned from your field, while this card is in your hand or your graveyard, you can instantly special summon it, which is crazy good, but you can only activate it once per turn. Plus, it gains 100 attack for each Amazonas monster in your graveyard, which is, again, pretty good because you're playing quite a few Amazonas. It can get decently big. So it's really helpful in the deck, and I really think that you need to play at least 2. I consider playing 3, but 2 seems to be the optimal number. Then I play my little personal tech, and that is 2 Goblinbergs, because it helps getting into Mrs. Radiant, because this is like, yeah, I cannot emphasize how important it is to get a Mrs. Radiant on the field, because it can allow you to get Empress and Liger on the field at the same time, and it makes them all go up by 500 attack. Everything is an Earth monster, so they all go up by 500, which is really, really, really important. So that is it for the monsters. Let's get directly into the spells. Like, put it this way really quick. This is at 1200. If I can get the field spell and a Mrs. Radiant on field, this goes up to 1900. That's a 700 attack point boost. And your queen goes up to 31 just by having a Mrs. Radiant and the field spell, because it makes it go by 2 and then 5. Don't even talk about it. It's obscene. So we play 1 copy of Raigeki just to kind of board wipe your opponent. A Roto, because just about everything's Earth except for the Tigers. Then 1 Foolish to send our baby pet tiger to the graveyard, so we can get those constant special summons every single turn off of it. 2 Twin Twisters, because we don't like back row and beatdown decks at all. 3 copies of Amazonas Call. This card is really, really good, because you can either take an Amazonas card and add it from your deck to your hand, or send it to the graveyard, and then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Amazonas monster you control. That monster can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and other monsters you control cannot attack. Other Amazonas monsters you control cannot attack, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, if you got a swordswoman and your opponent's got something huge on the field, and you got a queen and it can't be destroyed by battle, that can get a little sketchy for your opponent. So then we play 1 copy of Terraforming for the villages, and I play 3 village and 1 terraforming, because you want to get village, but you have so many ways to get to village with like princess and call and terraforming. Like, you're gonna get village in the first turn, but I cannot emphasize how important it is. All face-up Amazonas monsters on the field gain 200 attack, which is good, and then once per turn, when an Amazonas monster is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon 1 Amazonas monster from your deck with less level, or level that is less than or equal to that destroyed monster. So if you get, like, your swordswoman gets killed, or even your baby pet tiger that's going to come back gets killed, you can just special summon another something from the deck. So it's just really, really good. Then, because we're playing fusions in the deck, we're playing 3 polymerizations, and I'm playing 2 copies of Fusion Recovery, because we want to be able to get our princesses back to our hand to go off with other abilities and effects. So that's it for the spells. Pretty straightforward. Cannot emphasize how good Village is and Call is. They're just really, really good. I wish we could get another fusion, but I think this is close to everything we're going to get for Amazonas for the moment. By the way, Harpy Mat is in honor of my Valentine, just saying. So then for the only trap I'm playing in this deck, I'm playing 3 Amazonas Onslaughts. This card is an awesome battle trap, because once per turn during the battle phase, you can special summon an Amazonas monster from your hand, and if you do, it gains 500 attack until the end phase of the turn. Even if this card leaves the field, it still keeps the attack. And after damage calculation, if an Amazonas monster you control battles an opponent's monster, while this card is already face up on the field, you can, let's see, well, it's already face up on the field, spell and trap cards, you can banish that opponent's monster. And if this card on the field is destroyed, so it's like one of those, go on, come on, kill it, you can target 1 Amazonas monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So if you're like, you correctly summon out your Empress or your Liger, you can just bring them back in the main monster zone, which is crazy, later game. So they have to know about it, so because it has to be face up. But if they don't know what it does and they don't read it, it's too bad for them. So then for the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Empress and 2 copies of Pet Liger. Now let me get into these 2 cards really quick before we get into the rest of the extra deck, because the rest of the extra deck is good, but it's kind of not as relevant as these 2. Like, these 2 are the ones that you're going to reach for and dig for the most. So Empress's effect is that it has to use a queen or and another Amazonas monster. And her effect is during other Amazonas monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect. So it protects every single one except for herself. And if your Amazoness monster attacks a defense position monster, you inflict piercing damage. If this face-up fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while its owner controls it, you can special summon one Amazoness Queen from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is crazy good. Usually I'm going to go for Empress first because she lets them inflict piercing damage and protects them. But then if I can get Liger out, it's going to get crazy. Liger's effect is that it takes an Amazoness Tiger and a Amazoness Monster. Key word though, it has to take either a queen or a baby or a Amazoness Tiger. So this has 3 targets with 2 baby pet tigers and a regular tiger. This has 6 targets to go into with princess and queen. So pet tiger's effect is that once per turn, if this card attacks during damage calculation, you can make this card gain 500 attack. And if your Amazoness monsters attacked by an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 800 attack, and monsters your opponent controls cannot attack Amazon's monsters except for this one. So if you can get Mrs. Radiant on the field, you can literally make piercing damage with a 3,500 attack with Liger. So those are really important, and I really think that they're really good fusions for the deck. So then for our Link monsters, we're playing a Borreload because it helps out and you can get into it with all the special summoning as you guys heard. One Decode because Decodes, again, you can get into it if you need to. But the MVP is by far 3 Mrs. Radiants. You need to get Mrs. Radiant off in the deck. You need to keep Mrs. Radiant on the field in the deck. And plus, if she's... let's see, if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can target an Earth monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand so she replaces herself, which is really, really good, except for another copy of herself. Then we play the Utopia engine, which is a Utopia 39, a Utopia Prime, and a Utopia the Lightning. Really, really good. One Baguska, because it's the best rank 4 in the game. A Castel, because we need to spin stuff. Let me scoot these up really quick. Get rid of that glare. And then one Tornado Dragon, just to remove spell and traps. And that's it. Basically, the majority of the time, this is your extra deck right here. Like, this is all you need for this deck. This deck is extremely budget. Like, I cannot emphasize how budget is. I could probably build this deck for less than 30 bucks. With these being reprinted, 30 bucks tops, maybe. And then, you know, you don't have to play Raigeki and you don't have to play Twin Twisters, but everything else, 30 bucks at the most. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon down in the description below. And tell me what you guys think of this deck. I really enjoyed putting this deck together for you guys. It's a lot of fun, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys. DarkArmedAlliance out.